some people might disagree with our rankings on this, but guys, it doesn't change your opinion on the films.
But they're not going to get pissed off with you. They're going to get pissed off with me. Look at the ratings I give them.
I don't know, yeah, but I'm saying this for you. Hello and welcome to Rewind the Movies. So this is me and Prog are about to rank every single Halloween film, all 13, including the newest Halloween Ends by Mr. David Gordon Green, which came out last week, or depends when you're watching it.
Yeah.
So before we start getting into the ranking, it's been an experience of it. It's been an emotional experience because I love the Halloween films and you fucking hate them, except for the first one by John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And
I don't hate them.
You have cried and moaned and been angry through every single film at some point.
No, I haven't. I will say the ones I'd watched before were Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween H2O. Okay. Those are the ones I've seen before.
Okay.
And I still enjoy the first Halloween.
Yeah.
We obviously reviewed it recently on Rewind the Movies. And what I remember of Halloween 2 and H2O, I always remember them being decent films.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to go back and watch them. And I was intrigued to watch the Halloween films, but as we got through the middle section of films, I did find them. I did become increasingly sort of, I gotta do another Halloween film tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't like that though because I was like, I get to watch another Halloween film because I knew which ones are coming up next. And but
I will say, towards the end of watching the films,
yeah,
I started to enjoy the experience because we were having a chat and a laugh while we were watching them.
Yeah.
So I wasn't taking it so seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a few. I'm not going to talk about which sort of franchise, but would you be tempted to ever do another franchise like this again, Prog?
I would, but you'd have to give me a bit of time or pay me.
Or enough comments down below. Maybe what you could do is comment what franchise you would like Prog and myself to watch.
Does it have to be a horror franchise?
Oh yes.
Oh, I'll tell you what we could.
Or porno franchise.
I'll tell you what franchise we could do because I know it would wind him up.
Don't do it.
The Aliens franchise.
Alien franchise?
With Prometheus and...
Oh, fuck off. If we do... I can't go through Covenant again. I can't... There are like two films I like.
Which franchise were you thinking I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say like Marvel or something. I was like,
no, I wouldn't have to. It's 20 films.
I was like, don't be a dick now.
What about Police Academy?
Oh, but... can you put every film in the worst category? It'd just be like every film here is in the same spot. 10 as the worst. Fuck me. But yeah, I'm thinking Friday the 13th. That's the one I really want. I need Prog to watch all the Friday the 13th films because you got pissed off at some of these ones. The Friday the 13th ones would make you spit blood, I reckon. But anyway, how are we going to do it? Should we just go through it film by film? So
yeah, go from bottom to first.
Worst to best.
Or do you want to go best to worst?
Worst to best.
Okay,
I reckon,
cool.
right.
So I got last place for 3 films because I gave them the same score. So,
okay,
you could honestly throw these in the air and put them...
For the purpose of the video, just give them one by one because it'll make things so much easier. If you give them...
I'm going Halloween 4.
Halloween 4 is number 13.
It is, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the chat. I'm gonna give you your day in court by you, right? And say why would you give such a good film what would you score for it out of 10?
2.
Fuck me. 2 out of 10. Like, okay, now why?
You know, this is where I get my own back on Adam for all the shit ratings he's given some of my favourite films.
Now Halloween. In my opinion, Halloween 4 is a masterpiece, right? So why don't you like Halloween 4? What's wrong with it?
Well, you know from where we were watching it how much it fucked me off.
All I'm going to say is Halloween's a small place. Haddonfield's a small place.
You keep coming back this, but Michael Myers was David Copperfield in that film.
But he
was disappearing and reappearing within the blink of an eye 10 miles down the road. It was just preposterous. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Michael Myers.
No.
He needs to look scary. He might just run between kills. Who cares? But the thing is,
Michael Myers never runs.
The thing is, the bit you have the biggest problem with, right, is when I've forgotten her name. It's either Sarah or Rachel. You know, the main girl.
I don't care.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. I put it at the bottom. It's either Sarah or Rachel. But when she falls out the window, and then
She falls off the roof.
She falls off the roof, right?
Right.
And then she's on the floor, and then he walks out of the house, and you see
Yeah,
this
but she's at the
massive problem with that scene. But like, it's fine because he could have just run down the stairs and got to it.
He doesn't run.
He
never runs.
Yeah, but he might do when he's on.
Do you know what would have sold that scene, that happening for me?
Go on.
If he had if you'd just seen his feet landing on the floor, if he jumped down from the roof, I would have been like, all right, I suppose he is this boogeyman, so maybe he can jump 3 floors.
Look, I know, but you're only giving this one such a bad review because you're trying to get back at me for E.T., right? Because I know that you did enjoy it on some level. You can't say you didn't like Loomis in this film.
I didn't like him.
He was great though. He was like, but that's the thing with the film is Loomis versus Michael Myers.
I don't care what it's about. I didn't like the film, and I'll never watch it again.
I think we should watch Halloween 4 one more time just to change your ranking.
It's never happening.
Right, well I'm going to go give my number 13, alright?
Yeah, go on.
My number 13 is, and I had to think, now my ranking, right, I did my ranking 3 times because I kept thinking things over and double checking things. Okay. Now this and number 12 kept swapping around all the time, but I ultimately just had to be like, nope, I had to put my feet down and be like, no, this is the worst one.
Okay.
And it is Rob Zombie's first Halloween remake.
Okay.
That, for me, is the worst Halloween film.
What do you give out of 10?
I give that one a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
I give it 3 out of 10, that one, right? Now, why it's my worst one, okay? Now, when I first ever watched this, back in 2007, when it first came out, I went to the cinema and watched it. I quite liked it. I thought it was... Because the reason I liked it, I was a bit like, well, at least it did something different. That was my sort of take from it. I was like, oh, it was pretty different. But I was a young man. I was a young boy back then. I didn't quite understand how bad it actually was. Until I rewatched it the other night, I was like, the dialogue's fucking terrible at the beginning. Like, Sherry Moon's terrible in it. And I hated how much... I didn't realise how in-depth it goes on Michael's backstory. And when he's, like, walking around and talking as a teenager and stuff. I hated that stuff. It completely ripped away any mystery. And I thought to myself, would I have liked this more if it wasn't a Halloween film?
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I think the best response you could ever get out of me of this, so change the name to something else.
And don't make it Michael Myers.
And don't make it Michael Myers. Don't make it a Halloween film. The best you'd get me to say is, that was a humdrum, crap as fuck, by the numbers slasher film. That's the best I could ever say about it. But for me to say that, you have to completely take all the Halloween shit away from it as well. Terrible.
I agree with everything you said there. It's a bad film.
There are some decent things in it. I like Brad Dourif in it. I think Brad Dourif is great. I do quite like Malcolm McDowell as Loomis. I do quite like him as Loomis, but it's all wasted. Yeah. And they make some of the dumbest decisions ever.
Also, it is a well shot film.
It is well shot. Yeah. That's the thing with Rob Zombie. Yeah. He's brilliant at filming stuff and directing it. But he just can't write screenplays. His dialogue is fucking atrocious. Yeah. Like there's that Bill Forsyth in it, who was in one of the greatest films of all time, Stone Cold, for which he gave an Academy Award winning performance. He's terrible in it. It's not him that's terrible. It's the material he's given is terrible, and it's just awful. And the thing with Sherry Moon blows her head off in it and stuff. It's just dumb.
Even though she's still got another kid.
I know, a baby in the house.
Come on, like.
I know, and like, I did quite like when he first broke out of the mental home. There's a brief section in that film where I'm like, I love the bit with when he goes to the where did they go? The truck stop, and it's Ken Forey's character. And he takes the overalls off him. I love that stuff. Great with that song by Rush, Tom Sawyer playing on. Great stuff. But it's just crap. After that, then there's a blip in the middle of it being quite good, and then it's just Laurie Strode's awful in it. It's just all shit from me. But yeah, that's my number 13. Halloween 2007. Let's do your number 12, but.
Halloween 6.
The Curse of Michael Myers.
And I give this a 2 out of 10 as well.
A 2 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
All round bad.
I can't really argue against Halloween 6. I can't argue for it. I got nothing.
I just want to say as well, I try very hard not to give any film 0 or 1. Yeah. Because it's fucking hard to make a film. Mm-hmm. It's even harder to make a film that someone enjoys or wants to rewatch. And when I went through the list, I honestly put the films in the order that I would want to rewatch them. Yeah. So, and Halloween 6, I've got no, like Halloween 4 and the next film I'm going to be talking about, there's nothing that makes me want to rewatch it.
Halloween 6 is like, now...
And that's a shame as well, because I really like Paul Rudd. But I don't know what he's doing in this.
There is that one bit though, when she walks past the house and he's just stood at the window looking down at her.
Yeah.
That bit was fucking... We did both burst out laughing at that.
He's not even creepy neighbour behind the curtain. He's just full view.
Oh, do you know what? It's quite sad as well, though, because it's like... It's Donald Pleasance's last ever role in a movie. It's his last time playing Loomis, and it's just all so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It is just bad. Like, I mean, you got Michael Reeves in it as well as the Man in Black.
Yeah.
And you saw the twist coming a mile off as well. You were like, that's the Man in Black. So as soon as he walked on frame, you were like, that's the Man in Black.
I know.
I was like... Because I knew what happens. I was a bit like... Oh, well.
Yeah. I said, that's the Man in Black. I looked over at you and you were like, no, it's not.
I was like, no, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, fucking hell, is that obvious? Now, the thing is with Halloween 6, I will say as well, like that, right? Now, I've never been a massive fan of Halloween 6. I've seen it a few times, because I do rewatch it when I do like a sort of like binge watch of them all. But, and there's two cuts of it, there's the producer's cut and we watched the theatrical cut of it.
Yeah.
I think they're both kind of the same film. Like, there's different kills and stuff. Like Jamie dies differently in it and stuff. But that's sort of like there's not massive differences. Donald Pleasance's ending is a bit more because in the one we watched, he gets the blood phone on his wrist.
Yeah.
But in the producer's cut, it's kind of alluded to when he's killed by Michael Myers off screen. And it's actually a terrible ending. I think that ending's worse than the one we watched. But I didn't see this one at all until I was like much later into my teens. So I was about 19 or 20 when I first watched this one.
Yeah.
Whereas 4 and 5 and all of the others, I was watching them from like 12, 13. So I think that's maybe why I have such a bigger fondness for those ones. But yeah, my number 12 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Really?
For which I gave a 3 out of 10.
Okay.
I fucking hate this film. But
well, I know that's not true.
I'm going to talk about the positives now. Like, all right, now I had this at my number 13 for the longest time. This was like the worst one. Okay, I was like, this, you can't be all bad. But the opening 25 minutes is so good. I gotta give him props to this guy. And that's what's annoying about this one, because you watch those first 25 minutes and you're like, mate, if you want to do a good film, you could do it. Like, it is Rob Zombie, man. It is within you to make a good movie, right? And he's made a good film, because I like Devil's Rejects, and I liked House of a Thousand Corpses. But the opening 25 minutes of this film, it's like a masterpiece. But then you just get, oh, fuck me. After that, when she wakes up in this old dream, everything is just fucking terrible.
And that opening 25 minutes is why I look at it differently.
Yeah.
You've taken it one way where you're so disappointed after the 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Where I've ranked them on terms of rewatching, that 25 minutes would make me want to rewatch that film rather than some of the others.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't got it as low down as you have.
But that's the thing, like, it's too... I think it's a problem when a film is that front, when it's that front stacked. But the problem I have with Halloween 2, again, when I first ever watched Halloween 2, I never liked Halloween 2 when I first watched it, but I found the Loomis stuff really funny. And I was always a bit like, oh, well, at least the Loomis stuff is kind of funny. But I didn't like it this time. I found it fucking infuriating, the stuff with Loomis, because I found it boring, and it just makes the film trudge on. It's only an hour and 45 minutes. We didn't watch the director's cut.
No.
Because we couldn't, I couldn't face doing 2 hours of Rob Zombie.
The other thing is as well, I understand why you've got it that low down, is because the dialogue.
Yeah.
And we have talked about it before on other videos. Rob Zombie's dialogue, he can only do one thing.
Yeah.
And that's his sex dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's never entertaining or funny or anything like that. It's just coarse and horrible.
Yeah.
And it doesn't... For some reason, it doesn't sound right coming out of the characters that he's got on screen.
It just makes every character repugnant, doesn't it?
It's just, and it's boring.
I know, that's what I mean, like, because I think he thinks it's funny, but I can just see him being like, oh, it's just darkly funny and stuff. He doesn't do it. If that's Rob Zombie's choice.
Do you think Rob Zombie writes the screenplay, and when he's writing a line, he's like, oh yeah, that's funny? Or do you reckon he just writes it and goes, there we go?
No, I think he writes it and thinks he's all edgy and cool. Okay. I genuinely think he thinks it's funny and edgy, and he's all like, yeah, that's so rough. And it's like, and he just brings this really horrible, like, vicious, sort of like he's treating them like they're rednecks, right? And like they have these horrible redneck, rough, gummo, Harmony Korine gummo upbringings, and it's like, fuck off, mate. Like, the reason Halloween by John Carpenter works so well is because everything is all idyllic and lovely, and they live in this lovely neighbourhood, and then the horror comes into it. But when it's all just murky and shit, it's just miserable and depressing. And another thing I will say about Halloween 2, the other reason I fucking hated it, is because Laurie Strode is so fucking annoying in that film. And also, another thing I think they should have done, they should have had Danielle Harris be Laurie Strode in both films. Because I think Danielle Harris is 50 million times better at acting than the Laurie Strode actresses.
Yeah, but another plus point, though, is, again, Brad Dourif's in it.
Yeah, again, yeah.
But he's got a bigger role.
Yeah, but it's just like... It's like...
Yeah, but I love Brad.
I know you like... I love Brad Dourif as well, but it's a bit like... Sometimes something's so shit it can't be saved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but for me it can be, because of the first 25. But I completely agree with everything you said.
But that's my number 12. Halloween 2. Rob Zombie. Go on, give you a number 11. We haven't even cracked the top 10 yet.
Halloween 5.
Halloween 5.
It's a 2 out of 10. Again.
2 out of 10. Fuck me. Tina is the most annoying main character girl in that.
You found her really annoying.
She's the worst.
For some reason, you found it finding her annoying.
Made you laugh.
Made me laugh.
She's fucking
So I
annoying.
didn't find her annoying.
Okay, what about the bits when Michael Myers, at the end, when Daniel Harris is all like, I'm your niece, and he takes his mask off and a tear goes down his face?
You're asking me as if I'd given that film 7 out of 10.
But
I haven't. I've given it a 2.
I'm trying to make a case for that being worse for number 4 right now.
But if you think number 4 is a better film, and I know you do, fine.
This is the case.
I really don't. I'm telling everyone at home, I don't care about these films.
He is ranked 4 lower than these two just to piss me off.
I haven't. Number 4 at the time pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
But that's what I remember, which is why I put it bottom.
Fair enough. I'm going to go... Okay, that's fair enough. We'll leave it there because, like you said, they are kind of the same thing. But I'm going to give my number 11 now, just to chug things along a bit. My number 11 is Halloween Ends.
Ooh, okay.
3 out of 10. Okay, so look, now I'm not going to go too in detail about this one because we've just done we did a full spoiler-filled review of this on the channel.
Yeah.
I think it came out a couple of days ago. So if you want the full...
we both agree on this film.
Yeah, we both agree on this. But if you want the full scoop of what you think about Halloween Ends, go and watch that video. But just quickly...
Briefly.
But just very briefly.
All over the place.
It's all over the place. It's a fucking hot mess.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my problem with Halloween Ends. Okay, but go watch the video for a more in detail discussion. You're on number 10.
My number 10 is Halloween 1 Rob Zombie.
We've just discussed that. Yeah. Okay, I agree. So that's your number 10. My number 10. Oh, sorry. What did you give that one out of 10?
2.5.
2.5 out of 10. Wow. I still rated it higher than you though. I give it that one 3 out of 10. And that was my worst one. My number 10, and we've just discussed it, is Halloween 6.
Okay, yeah.
We don't need to go into depth on that one now.
So my 9, and I didn't think I was going to put it this low. But when I thought back about it, there was only one thing I liked about it.
What is
it? Buster. My number 9 is Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection is number 9. Now we had the best time watching that one though.
Yeah.
We did laugh our heads off a lot for that one.
I don't want to rewatch that though.
Yeah.
I do not want to. Like, don't get me wrong.
What was your out of 10 score for it?
3.
3 out of 10.
Yeah,
okay.
and all 3 of those are Buster Rhymes.
Okay.
The fact he defeats Michael by using Kung Fu.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, and if you're ever in peril in a Halloween film, they should just chop her in Buster Rhymes.
Well, that's what I kept thinking was going to happen in Halloween Ends. I was a bit like, just get Buster in. Get Buster. If I had made Halloween Ends, right, I would have had like the US Army. I would have had it end straight after. I would have had it begin straight after Halloween Kills, after he's killed Tommy Doyle and all that. And then a US military helicopter just chops in Buster Rhymes, and he's all like in a taekwondo suit, and he's all like, I'm about to let's kill some Myers or something. I would have done that.
I'll tell you what, right?
But they're not going to give me money to make that movie.
No, they don't. If Buster Rhymes is the only person to ever have defeated Michael Myers,
yeah, he is.
Single-handedly.
Well, not actually. Well,
single-handedly.
I know what you're going to say, but there's okay, I'll give you that. But it's kind of not true. It doesn't matter. We'll get into a favourite in the ranking. But what I will say, Buster Rhymes' performance. I want to talk about that quickly, right? Because we may as well cover all our favourite things about this film right now, right? I love the fact that the opening scene when he's in the hotel room and it foreshadows when he's into Kung Fu and he's watching a Kung Fu film. How weird was that scene though when he's just talking? It's like every single thing he's thinking, he's saying. Do you remember that bit? It's like the stream of consciousness.
Oh, it's not even an inner monologue. It's an outer monologue.
It's just like it starts off the scene. It's him like he's like, this is the scene.
Get his ass! Get his ass! Get his ass! better than Wok Chun-Li? Come on, whooping everybody's ass while he's smoking a cigarette. Oh, shit! Who's knocking on my door this late? Whoever this is distracting me from seeing Wok Chun-Li whoop some ass. Sam? Ooh.
The bit when Michael comes face to face with Busta Rhymes dressed as Michael Myers. We were in tears at that.
Oh, shit, man. Charlie, where the fuck you been at, man? Don't you know we've been looking all over this motherfucker for you? And why the hell you dressed like me anyway? I ain't paying you to be Michael Myers. I'm playing Michael Myers. If them kids come around and see us dressed up in the same shit, you're gonna ruin the whole effect.
The one thing I will say about Halloween Resurrection is, right, it is like, after you get through the Bloodthorn trilogy of 4, 5, and 6, and it is a nice, like, before you get into the horrible, murky Rob Zombie
It's a
ones,
comedy film.
It is a nice
They
ray
should
of
have
some...
gone full comedy in that.
They kind of did.
Well, it was only Busta Rhymes that was the comedy.
What would you say is the best scene in that film?
It's when he does the kung fu on him.
What was the best scene in that film? What's the bit we kept rewinding back and watching over and over again with the text message?
Oh. So one of the girls is running from Michael Myers in the house, and it's the cameras are all set up in the house, and she's got a phone and she's getting text messages from this guy telling her where Michael Myers is in the house, and she's hiding, and the text message says, "He's in the corridor, don't scream," and she goes, "Ah!"
I'm gonna the clip's playing right now.
Awful.
I'm gonna play the clip.
It's awful.
Like, but it's awfully funny. That's what I'm saying as well. Right, so that was your number 9?
Yes.
Okay, my number 9. We've discussed my number 9 already. My number 9 is Halloween 5.
Okay, cool.
Which I give a 4 out of 10. I also give a 4 out of 10 to Halloween 6 as well. I forgot to give a rank on that one. Okay.
Number 8, I've gone Halloween Ends.
Okay.
And I've given a 3.5. And that's the only film I reckon that I will have given a higher rank than Adam.
That's saying something. In fact, like, in a lot of ways, that kind of makes Halloween Ends the worst Halloween film ever, in some regards.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't know. It's not as bad as the Rob Zombie ones for me. But
no, there's again. We'll get on to it now.
But if you want to see our full review, just click on the video, which is probably down below this one. My number 8 is... Now, I'm going to say from this point onwards, I actually like all Halloween films. From this point onwards, right, so what we've got now is 8 films I think are good. Oh, great, okay. My number 8, it's Halloween 2 from 1981. Okay. The original OG, Rick Rosenthal, Halloween 2. And I give that one a 6 out of 10. Bit of a low score, I know, and it might upset a few people because it's usually high up on people's lists. But I do find it a bit of a chore to get through. I got to be honest, because I like the beginning bit. I do, because it's quite. I know that it fucked you off when he runs that kid over, dressed as Michael Myers, and then there's that big explosion and stuff. Yeah. It's stupid, but I quite like it because it's quite funny. Frank, to be quite frank. Some of the acting's terrible from the cops, which is kind of funny to watch, I guess, and all that.
3 kids. One of them was Annie.
I think the film's, unlike the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, this is the other way around, but it's kind of bottom, it's backstacked almost. So all the good stuff comes in the last, in the last act, but you do have to get through. And like whenever I rewatch this one, the
first 50 minutes is
the first
hard.
50,
yeah.
But I think what it's trying to do is it's like Rick Rosenthal is trying to, and I know obviously John Carpenter wrote the film, but it's quite interesting because John Carpenter, as we all know, he likes a slow start to a film. Yeah. He likes a slow burn to really get you into it. But it's interesting to see how another director can't quite capture or can't quite grip you like John Carpenter can. Because when I rewatch Halloween 1, which also has a very slow beginning, I'm never bored by it. I'm always just like, I'm always intrigued by it. I'm always loving it. Also,
this film was the start of my realisation that in movies, hospitals are empty.
That's no problem here. It's got some good kills in the art. It has got some really good kills in it. And it ups the gore a little bit as well. I love the ending where Loomis blows himself out with Michael Myers and gets his eye shot. I think that's amazing stuff. I think that's really good. But the reason it just gets a bit of a lower rating is because it does drag a little bit at the beginning, and you are just like, it's one of those ones I'm a bit like, come on, it's just my opinion. I know a lot of Halloween fans watching this are going to be pissed off about me saying that.
Also, they got Jamie Lee Curtis back to play Laurie Strode, but she's hardly a dick.
Yeah, but I think she was getting big then. I think she probably...
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. But like,
But she's in a hospital bed for most of the film.
I know. But again, I like it at the end when she's crawling around away from him and stuff. I quite like her around that time, but like, you know, it's just whenever I watch Halloween 1, the thing people say they like to do is just chuck number 2 on and watch them back to back. I can't do that. I would need another day. I would need another day to mentally prepare myself for that first 45, 50 minutes, because I do find it quite short. Just my opinion. But I don't hate it. It's a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad movie. It's just got problems.
Yeah.
And it's a pacing thing.
So we're on 7 now, yeah?
Yeah.
So my number 7 is Halloween 2, Rob Zombie.
Okay.
And
So
I give a 4 out of 10.
okay. What I know we talked about it already, but why did you rate this one so high?
So high. You heard my ratings for the other
you
one.
ranked it so high above the other ones. Why does it beat all the other ones out?
Because in terms of rewatchability,
Yeah.
I'd rather watch this one than the ones I've mentioned before.
Okay.
Just for the first 25 minutes,
Yeah.
which we've established was really good,
Yeah.
and Brad Dourif.
I will say as well, another thing I forgot to mention about this one, it does have some good violence in it.
Yeah.
If you, I think, the one thing I will say in its favour, Halloween 2, right? I think it's one of those things, if you were like at a house party, and you were like, or a Halloween party or something, and you had like one of those big screens on playing horror movies, if you had this playing on in the background while everyone's dancing in their costumes and stuff, you get some good visuals in it, you know what I mean? It's some good kills. And if you're a bit of a Jeffrey Dahmer and you love watching violent shit, watch Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. What was our number?
7.
That was your number 7. My number 7 is Halloween Resurrection, which I give a 6 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. The reason I give it a 6 out of 10 is because that's so much fucking... Now, well, before we started watching all these again...
That's something you gotta like you said though, that's something you gotta watch with someone else.
I know. But before we started rewatching these ones again, I was saying all along, Halloween Resurrection's the worst one. But when I rewatched it with you and Liz the other night, I laughed my head off all the way through it, and I actually realised I grew a bit of a soft spot for it, because I was kind of like, do you know what? Yes, this film is stupid, but... And like, people are fuming right now because I've just ranked it above Halloween 2 from 1981. I know that. But I would rather watch Resurrection again than Halloween 2. It's funny. It's a fun movie.
It's your opinion, but...
Yeah, I know, but it's like I just find it like, it's so 2000s, like that early 2000s thing. And yes, I know the thing they do with Laurie Strode at the beginning is criminal, the way they kill her off.
Yeah, but
and
also, I think that's another decent thing about it.
Yeah.
They actually kill her off in the beginning.
I know, but it's like... people find it, but the other big crime it makes, it does write off H2O straight away. It is kind of like, yeah, H2O, we just that great film, which people love, by the way, the fans of the series. They do write it off quite a bit. But I'm a sucker for early 2000s horror movies, and it just kind of, when I watched it again, I just go those, like, remember going to the video shop and getting a crappy 2000s horror film brand new out. I just go those sort of those feels again, and I quite liked it, and I more happily watch this one again. But that was my number. That was my number 7.
So my number 6 is Halloween 2, 1981.
What was your score?
5.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Lower than mine. What was your reasons for?
I thought it was an average film.
Yeah.
Average enjoyment. Would I rewatch it? It wasn't as good as I remember it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was a bad film.
Okay.
And it wasn't a crushing disappointment after watching the original.
Okay. My number 6 is Halloween H2O.
Okay.
Okay. And I give that one a 7 out of 10. Now, my reasons, like, again, a lot of fans are pissed off about this one because it usually ranks like number 2 or number 3 on people's lists, right? And it gets a lot higher than a 7 out of 10. I like this film. But I do, and I love Steve Miner as the director. I love what he did for the Friday the 13th, and I love how Kevin Williamson came on board. I know he's not the official screenwriter, but he worked on it and stuff. I just kind of like find it a little tiny bit underwhelming. Okay. That's just my. It's better than Resurrection. It's got a great ending. The ending's fantastic, right? And that's why it goes so high and stuff. But I just feel like it's the first one back after all these years. They've got Jamie Lee Curtis back and stuff, but they don't really like. They don't go for the carnage.
No, but.
Yeah,
I think it's in keeping with the pacing of
the first one.
Yeah, the first one and the 1981 number 2.
Okay,
because it's the slow build and then you get the last half hour.
I agree there. But this is why I think that doesn't work right. Because the problem I have with that argument like that is this: it doesn't have the filmmaking ability of John Carpenter, but also it has a lot of the sentiments of early 2000s horror films. Like it has LL Cool J as the sort of comic relief security guard. Yeah. It has the what's her name? The woman and what's her name? The Elizabeth. It's not Elizabeth Banks. What's her name? the girl in it with Josh Hartnett.
Oh, Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has her in it as well. So like, I don't know. When I watch it, I'm just a bit like, I want like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer kind of like kill fest going on, and I'm not getting that. I'm not saying it's bad for that. I'm just saying that's my personal opinion.
When we rewatched it,
yeah,
you're coming off the back of and the expectancy of the new Halloween films.
I know, but I'm just saying that's my. I like it. I do like it. I'm just saying. I'm just giving my.
Well, you give it a 7.
I give it 7. There are things I love about it. I do. I love the ending. I like what they do with Laurie Strode in it. I love the fact that they do kind of. It's the first time they retconned. It was like, look, forget this. Forget 4, 5, and 6. Forget them. Forget all them. This is a new one. I like that stuff. Michael Myers mask is no problem. The CGI mask and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't annoy me as much as I don't get that. I'm not that. It doesn't piss me off that much. I'm just like, it's just one of those things. But some people get really hot under the collar about all that. But I don't mind that stuff. I think that's. Yeah. I think it's fine. It's just, it's goofy, but it's not the end of the world. But that's my number. That's my number 6. Yeah.
My number 5, and I'm going to say now 5, 4, and 3. Mm-hmm. I could have put them in any order because I given them the same score.
Okay.
But my number 5 for this video is Halloween 3.
Halloween 3?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've got Halloween 3 as well.
And I gave it a 6 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, your ratings are completely different to mine though, we know that. But
that's an 8 out of 10 movie. Now, okay, let's get into it.
We can have a chat about this one now. So I enjoyed it because it was completely different. There's no Michael Myers, there's no Laurie Strode. Yeah. But what it was, and what I found it to be, it was actually a very cohesive film.
Yeah.
Like, it had a different plot, but it stuck to the plot. It paid it off.
Yeah.
And that, it's not great. Or I don't think it's great. But I did get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
So I was happy. I was quite surprised when we watched it.
How good it was, yeah.
Yeah, because you said, like, it's actually a good film. And I was like, if Michael Myers ain't in it, is it going to be a good film?
Yeah.
But it was.
Like, I remember when I was younger, because I always remember, like, the way I watched this film, a friend of mine had it on videotape, and they were like, that's the worst Halloween film because there's no Michael Myers in it. So I watched it when I was like about 14 or something, thinking this is going to be crap. But I was like, this is still a really good... I was surprised by how much I liked it when I was 14, and I've always had this big soft spot for it. But when I watched it again the other night, I liked it even more. I was like, this is a really... And like, I think Tommy Lee Wallace does an amazing job of really capturing that John Carpenter.
And he does well with the women as well, doesn't he?
Oh, no, I'm on with the director now.
Oh,
I'm on with the director.
No, who's your boy?
No, what's his name? Tom Atkins.
Yeah, you loved him in
Tom
that
Atkins crushes the ladies in this film. But, mate, I'm just going to say right now, like, alright, he's a legend.
Adam wanted to be Tom Atkins after
mate,
this film.
Everyone watching this fucking video wants to be Tom Atkins, but that scene, but when he's in bed with our bird.
Yeah.
Like, we did the research, he's about, 48?
Yeah.
He's about 51, 48, around that sort of age. He bangs the fuck out of that girl.
And she's about 21.
She's about 21. And then, after he's emptied in her, he just says to her, how old are you?
Yeah, he asked that question after.
We and you were in tears laughing because we were like, there is no way you would ever put that in a movie these days.
Aren't you just the least bit tired?
No.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
Relax. I'm older than I look.
While he's bagging this girl, his actual off-screen wife is in the hotel room next to him.
His wife was actually in the movie, who's like the same age as him and all that. And can you imagine that? They divorced like a couple of years after making this. But like, he's just like full shebang. It's not even just like, it's not like a light 80s sex scene. And Andrew, who's behind the camera now, would have loved the 80s boobs. The 80s boobs on display in this, but you would have loved it. But like, he's motorboating her and stuff.
This is good. This is like watching a porno. Except I can't see anything, I haven't got a hard on, and I want to cry. Mate, I forgot it was a horror film at that point. Like, I love that the big review on this film has been the one sex scene. But like, I love the cult, the evil cult in it and stuff. Yeah, I love it all. I think it's great. And it goes for it. Like, for a film made in 1982, 1983, it really goes for it. Like that kid, whose head is squashed by that pumpkin. Yeah, and then snakes coming out of his eyes. I've never seen. I can't think of many horror films from the 80s that go that in depth.
Thing is, horror. As well, right? I've said this to you boys before. If you want peril in a film, show that anyone is susceptible to dying. And they do that in Halloween 3 by killing that kid. as soon as that happened, I was like, all right, well, all bets are off.
Yeah. I know. Do you know? I have a really controversial opinion on They Live by John Carpenter.
I know.
Well, It's not my favorite film by him, but I reckon this is what I wanted They Live to be. I'm not saying there's anything like it's, but they're like a similar sort of like the media's evil sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just reckon like I wish They Live was as good as Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that sort of thing. But yeah, brilliant film. It's shot beautifully, and we watched it on a Blu-ray as well.
Yeah.
It looked stunning in HD and stuff as well. So and like I really do think it's one of those films that's starting to catch a bigger fan base these days as well, which is quite nice. But
I think it just gets lost.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't called
in all the Halloween like discussions, and
I think if they just called it Season of the Witch and dropped the Halloween 3 title, it would have been like I reckon it would have been
a cult classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in the same vein as like Christine and all that sort of stuff. It's a really good movie. So like, if you're watching this right now and you've never watched Season of the Witch because you know Michael Myers is not in it, I'm telling you right now, you're robbing yourself of a really great experience. If you like early John Carpenter, even though he didn't direct it, it's Tommy Lee Wallace, just give it a go because it's a really, really.
I would say to watch it. Yeah.
And I give it an 8 out of 10. He'd give it a 6 because he's evil. That was our number 5, right? So you go for number 4.
Number 4, Halloween H2O.
Okay.
And I give that a 6 as well.
6 out of 10.
Yeah. I'd watched it once before. Date night with the girlfriend at the time. Blockbuster rental. And I remember it was one of those videos where as a bloke you think, I'm gonna rent that now. It's this horror movie. We're not gonna watch it all because she might get scared and stuff might happen. You know? Just want to make it clear that I was going out with my girlfriend for about a year at this time.
Okay.
So there was no sort of like forceful measures.
Okay.
It was tactics.
Okay.
But ended up watching the whole film.
Yeah.
Like I told her to go in another room because I wanted to finish it.
So she was in a bikini, just rubbing her bosom, going, Prague, come on, do me. And you were like, go get yourself started up, love. I'll be up now.
She was licking my ear.
So this film cost you boob, and you still give it a good score.
Well, no. The point is that I remember it being a good film.
Yeah.
And when we rewatched it, I was kind of, is this going to hold up now? And for the most part, it did.
Okay.
So,
do you reckon your rating would have been higher back then?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Because it's that thing. I think horror films have got so advanced now, and some got to just.
Also, I will say, I think this is one area where I think your rating. I think you're quite good with your rating.
Yeah.
You know what I think about your rating system. I think it's all over the place.
How is it all of us?
But one thing I do like about your rating system is you are forgiving of rewatching something.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't. Say like you watched it the first time and it was amazing. If you rewatch it again and it wasn't quite as amazing, you still value that first watch.
Yeah.
Whereas I will watch something and if it doesn't hold up on the second watch, I'll be like, it's not as good as I remember, so I'll drop it.
So it goes. I do drop films sometimes though on rewatch. Like I did it with Halloween, my number 13. I liked that a lot more the first time I watched it. I fucking hated it this time around. That was your number 3, right? Or
Number 4.
Number 4. My number 4 is Halloween 4.
Okay.
Which I give an 8 out of 10. And the reason I give this one, I like this one as well. I love I'm only going to be brief because we've discussed it already. I love the Loomis versus Michael Myers aspect of it. I don't think there's as many problems with it as you do. I think that I always believe that Haddonfield's quite a small town, so it makes sense when you move from one place to the other. I love the kills in this film. I think Dwight B. Little did a great job on directing it. I think it's shot really well as well. It's got some great 80s action in it as well. I love Loomis jumping out of the explosion at the beginning. I love how ruthless. It's a bit like a western in some parts as well. Like Myers is like the bad guy, and he's like, he's a bit like. Sometimes he does echo good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm the only person to ever say that. I'm just saying.
You're making shit up now. I know you are.
You know, I had to double check to see if Sergio Leone directed that. No, I just really like it. It for me is an 8 out of 10. That one gives an 8 out of 10. I've always had a massive soft spot for.
That's fine. Yeah,
I love it. And I watch it like once a year, sometimes twice a year.
How can you watch that twice a year?
It's a comfort food film, though. It's like a comfort blanket film. It's one of those ones I can just chuck on and just watch and have it on in the background while I'm like animating or something. I just love that movie. It's a great one. But anyway, let's get to the top 3 now. Go on.
So my number 3, again with a 6 out of 10. So I could have put any of those 3 in any order. Halloween Kills.
That's what my number 3 is as well. I have a feeling that our reviews might be a bit the same from this point on.
Yeah.
Now, can I just say my thing about Halloween Kills first? Now, when I first saw it, now it still is and was my film of 2021. That was my favourite film of.
What did you give it in 2021?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
And what have you given it now?
9 out of 10.
Right.
Okay, it dropped on 1 point. I'll go into it when I get into my next thing, alright? But when I still love this film, and I'm still going to watch it. It's one of those ones I will forever rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. Okay, it's a great movie. I think David Gordon Green did a great job in this one. But on a rewatch, I did find the dialogue extremely hammy. And as you saw, I laughed quite a bit at it as well. I was laughing more than I remembered at it, and I was a bit like, that's pretty stinky.
Yeah.
Some of that. That's my issue with it. And it did drop it down 1 point. But
can I say my issues first?
Go on.
I found it uneven.
Go on.
I found there were some moments where Michael is supposed to be this supernatural killer.
Yeah.
But then things were happening where I was just like... Do you know that scene with the firemen?
Mm-hmm.
They were coming at him one by one.
See, you saw...
And I don't like it when it's shot in a way where you see people waiting in the background.
Yeah.
Because you would all pile in.
Yeah.
Right? Now... I'm not like being like, oh, it's crap because of that. I'm just like, when I notice something like that, I can't let it go.
Yeah.
And it happened again right at the end.
With Tommy Dolan and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all in the background waiting for one person and they go on Michael. And it's like, no, you got him down originally because you all got on top of him.
Yeah.
So if he gets up again and he's just killed the old sheriff or he's now a security guard, you just all pile in on him again. That's what you're supposed to do. But no, this time they waited. Because they were standoffish, but it was still enjoyable.
Before this film first came out, right, I was a bit pissed off about it because I was a bit like, oh man, the 2018 one had a really good ending, right? I was a bit like, why are they doing another one for? But then, as the months went on and the release date got close, I was a bit like, you want it, Ad. You want more Michael Myers, and I did want it. And when I first went to the cinema to first watch it, when he gets out of the fire, I was a bit like, that's dumb, but I like it. I like it because it's like I'm about to get more Michael Myers killing people now. But I think it's really like what I like most about Halloween Kills. I love it is a horrible, violent horror movie, right? But it's got like it captures for me that the vibe of like Halloween 4, Friday the 13th sort of movies. Where it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's like
well, look, let's be honest. Halloween Kills.
Yeah. It's
in the title. It's about the kills.
I know, but what
I'm not shy about saying it. I enjoy a violent film.
Oh yeah, same.
The reason I got in number 3 on my list is because when I was watching it, despite my misgivings, I was actually enjoying what was going on in terms of Michael's just on this fucking march.
Yeah.
Through the town
to fuck everything up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't matter who it was. If you were in his way, he'd just fucking kill you.
I do. Part of me reckons well, they should have taken ends and this one did some rejigging in.
Oh god, yeah.
Because if I had seen Halloween Ends and it was Halloween Kills last night, I would have been like, wow. That's the going out and that's the going out in a bang movie. That one is.
Yeah.
Or actually, let's be real. I wish they added an extra 10 minutes onto the end and just ended it in Halloween Kills, and there was only 2 of them.
The thing is, my other problem with Halloween Kills is the backstories of the sheriff of Will Patton.
Oh right, yeah.
Where they show like you back in 1978 for like 10-15 minutes, and it's just like
I love that stuff.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I didn't. I was just like, oh god.
I love the last time because I thought, didn't you think the way they filmed it was amazing? Like it looked like a 70s movie.
Oh yeah, it looked like 1978.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that, but I wasn't enthralled by it. I wasn't like when it happened. I was like, oh, what are they going to do here now? And then you had the 10 minutes, and I was like, oh,
fair enough.
Okay,
fair enough. You're wrong, but fair enough.
Yeah, I get.
I'm winding you up.
I put it number 3.
Anyway,
I give it a 6.
Go on then. Go on. What's your number 2?
Halloween 2018.
Yeah, mine's that as well.
I gave it a 6.5.
I give it a 10.
I know you did.
I give it a 10 out of 10. Now, I used to think. I'm going to say I always ranked this one below Halloween Kills, but when I rewatched it the other night, I realised how incredible this movie was.
And it should have been a standalone film.
And it should have been a standalone film. Because the reason I ranked this one so high is because it's just like, it's its own beginning, middle and end movie. So like, even though Halloween Ends is an absolute fucking turd of a movie now, I'll have no... if I ever just want to watch Halloween 1 by John Carpenter and then just this one straight afterwards as a companion piece, I can. Because you can just, like you could with H2O, you could just pretend that's how he dies in fire. And you could just... Yes, you have to sacrifice Halloween Kills for a rewatch, but you can end it right there. It's a really good... I loved like the film had like... It had a really nice bounce to it as well. Like I love the fact that the a lot of people whinge about this aspect, but I love the fact that the psychiatrist...
Oh, he's a cock.
I know he's a cock, but I love the thing when he kills he doesn't kill him, but he tries to kill Hawkins. So because he wants to try and force Laurie Strode and Michael together by taking Alison.
Yeah, I will say, I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the execution.
I thought it was really. I thought that was.
Yeah,
cool.
you give it a 10.
I know. I love that stuff. I love the score in it. I love the opening.
That's one thing I completely agree with you on.
Yeah.
The music
is outstanding.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's one of the best like horror movie scores I've heard in recent years.
It's
right?
great.
But
it's so good.
And it's like it's John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and I think it's Daniel Davies.
I don't know
the guy's name is, but I forgot his name wrong. It's on the bottom of the screen right now. But yeah, amazing score
for how good the original score is,
yeah.
And they just amped it up.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I love the I love that they keep the babysitter murders aspect in it as well.
Yeah.
Like I love the bit when like that blonde girl who's looking after the little mouthy kid.
Yeah.
I love that little section. It's all great. It's like I was watching going, this is a fucking brilliant slasher movie, and I would actually say probably one of the best slasher films made, not in like the last 10-15 years.
Okay.
I adored this film on a rewatch.
Do you find though, right? Because we're going to get to it, right? Everyone should now know what both our number ones are.
Yeah.
What I find was, it wasn't so much as an issue, but I was disappointed by it, is that none of these other 12 films managed to have any of the suspense
of number one.
I know you're going to give the John Carpenter angle, and I do agree, but the way that Michael Myers in the first film is in the background, and he's moving around, and that lends itself to suspense, tension, the creepy factor.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it gets the hairs on the back of your neck standing up.
Yeah.
None of the other films that I can remember did anything like that.
Because I think as much as I love them all, I'm going to admit I'm happy to admit that they do. They sacrifice that for gore and tits.
Do you not think you could have both?
I don't know, because like
I don't mean gore and tits. I mean suspense and gore.
You can, yeah, but I think the other ones, because they focus so much on the set piece aspect of it, like the let's have we want to look at Halloween 4 when he impales someone with a shotgun, or when he puts his hand through a car window and rips the guy's head off and stuff. They sacrifice that stuff for the gore, and I think they overlook the ten. I think they don't interpret the John Carpenter sort of like magic they have.
Yeah.
But I will say, it's even though they're close to each other, and they've got the same score, I've given this one a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give Halloween by John Carpenter a 10 out of 10 as well. I still think that the one by John Carpenter is beyond better than this one, even though they got the same score. But like it's a different league of. Great.
So we'll get on to it now then. So Halloween, the originals, both are number ones.
Yeah.
You're giving it a 10.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
I think it's one of the greatest horror films.
Yeah, it is.
It's for my money, it's the best slasher film.
Yeah.
I personally think, even my discrepancies with some of the other films, all of the other films, I think Michael Myers, for me, is the best horror villain.
Yeah.
And in number one, in the original, to me, that's John Carpenter has fully realised the idea of the boogeyman.
Yeah.
I know some of the other films tried to incorporate that aspect.
Yeah.
And to a degree, I think the later trilogy managed that somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
But number one, it's just on another level.
And here's my ultimate because obviously my number one is Halloween by
Yeah.
John Carpenter as well.
Well, you've said before it's one of your favourite films.
It's one of my favourite movies of all time, right? But this is the crazy thing I'm about to say, right? Even though I've given a lot of these films high scores like that, right?
If you could, you'd give Halloween 11, wouldn't it?
I would, yeah, but like I would happily erase every sequel out of existence, every remake, if they had just never made another movie. Because I do think the ending of Halloween 1 would be so much more powerful if there was never anything else after it. If it was just that shot of Loomis looking over the balcony and him gone.
Yeah.
And I think, and as much as I love the sequel,
And the shots of the Haddonfield streets, yeah.
yeah, I think that it's already loved. But I just think it would have been even more loved if they had done that.
I remember the first time I watched it, it creeped the shit out of me.
I know, it's just I love that movie to death. I've loved it since I was a kid. I've loved it all my life since I've owned that film on every format ever, like from VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, ever. It's
You've obviously watched Halloween
a lot of times.
Well, far more than me as well.
Yeah.
And whenever I think about watching it,
yeah,
there is a part of me that always goes, "Gotta get through the first hour."
Yeah.
And then I watch it, and I'm just like, "What was I even worried about?"
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, because yes, it's dialogue heavy, focusing on the girls and the Haddonfield area, but it's for some reason you do still get caught up in it.
Yeah, it's great. It was
Even now, 45 years later, or 40 plus years later, it still holds up so well.
I think the 70s was that decade where, like, the late 60s and 70s was just that time when, like, all of the new kind of horror, it just kind of made the framework for horror as we know it today, didn't it? I mean, you had The Exorcist, you had Halloween, you had Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. So you have the birth of the zombie movie, the birth of the slasher movie, the supernatural horror movie, like as we know it today, like The Exorcist, and yeah, it's just,
and it's still the best mask.
I think it is the best mask, yeah, and certainly, and is the best actor. I know everyone says that Jude Courtney
in the new ones,
he's
good. He is good.
He's great, but people always rate him they rate him above Nick Castle.
Yeah, but is that because he's in more movies and there's more of him?
He's only in 3 of them. He's in the new 3 films.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people just.
How many's Nick Castle in then?
Like 1. The first one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's in more movies.
No, he's in the new ones as well, but he doesn't play him all the time.
No, yeah, but Nick Castle plays Michael in 1 film.
Yeah, but
right.
and the new ones. It's like a dual. They both share the role, but it's mainly because of his age. It's mainly James.
There's something about the way Nick Castle walks, though.
Yeah,
he's very.
Yeah. Just
upright, and he made it look like a machine.
Yeah. Imagine they had Arnie playing Michael Myers, but. Imagine that.
Arnie wouldn't have done it. Can I take the mask off?
Yeah. I tell you right now,
it's like Sly playing Judge Dredd.
But like, obviously, before we wrap things up now, okay, we should do Friday the 13th rankings next.
On, give me a rest, like,
because I need the world needs your opinions on.
My head was fucking throbbing after Halloween 6.
It wasn't throbbing after Friday the 13th Part 1 when we did it for Rewind the Movies. You were okay with that one. You said no. I'll put the clip on right now. You said in your own words, Friday the 13th was a good film, and I think you give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I didn't give a fucking 7.5.
I'll put the clip on now.
So, Prog, would you recommend Friday the 13th?
Absolutely, and I am going to give it a 7 out of 10. Great movie.
There's no such clip. Cue Adam doing a dub voice for me.
Look, mate, like, I'm editing this video. I can make you say whatever you want.
I know you can. Yeah.
So like this is how it goes, right? So I can make you say anything I want to about Halloween 4.
Halloween 4 is better than E.T.
Well, you can actually find the podcast where I say what I think about Friday the 13th.
But anyway, but yeah, so in summation, I think just to make it official, my number 1 is Halloween by John Carpenter. My number 2 was 2018 Halloween. Some people might disagree with our rankings on this, but guys, it doesn't change your opinion on the films. It's just what we think, so don't get pissed off about it, innit? And I think if you get pissed off about what someone else thinks about Halloween,
what anyone thinks about a film,
if you sat down somewhere getting mad about someone else's opinion on a horror franchise like Halloween, calm down.
I bet they're not going to get pissed off with you. They're going to get pissed off with me. Look at the ratings I give them.
I don't know, yeah, but I'm saying this for you.
Find me on social media.
Yeah. His name is Andrew Owen at facebook.com. No, sorry, money truck is Evan Quick. It is.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Evan Steak Bake Quick.
anyway, that's it for us tonight. Anyway, so yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks for watching our Halloween rankings. He had a lot of fun making this, and leave in the comments what you want us to do next on a ranking. Pick any horror franchise you want, and we will do it because we have no lives.
Like, share, and subscribe.